Hey everyone, so I am excited about the fact that I'm excited about the X-Men again. After reading this, I kind of have an idea or a notion that this book's gonna be good and continue to be good in the future. And that's great. When you can look at a number one and be like, okay, all right, I kind of see what we're doing here. And that's a good feeling. The world building of this book is masterful, and the design's great. I'm not going to sit here and shill all day. Let us just get into the book. So, humans of the planet Earth, while you slept, the world changed. Professor X. You get an interesting intro, and this is really beautiful art, but it's show don't tell, and these people are being born of these pods. And it's a very creepy, this kind of look that they're giving to Professor Xavier. Uh, but remember again that he's inhabiting the body of Phantom X right now, and at least he was last time we left off. And then his tagline, "To me, my X-Men." So, creative team. Jonathan Hickman, of course, is the writer. Pepe Larraz is the artist. Marte Garcia is the colorist. Clayton Cowles is the letterer. So Tom Muller is doing design. And when I say design, it is very likely these pages like this. A lot of this probably has to do with it. And this is really interesting. So each one of these symbols equals a letter in the English language. So they leaked some of the future stuff, like which were going to be the 6 comics that were coming out in October. They leaked the names of those using this code. Someone figured it out, someone on the internet, and so they deciphered it. Thought that was pretty cool. There's been things like this. I think it was A Perfect Circle was the name of the band, and they had a little code, a little cipher like this, and each one of these represented a letter in the English language. So they did that same thing. So I think that's pretty cool. I dig it. I really do. And so we're going to get to more pages like this with these secret little coded messages or whatever, with more information that kind of tells more about what's happening in the story. It's a pretty cool design concept. And I'll show you one more of those. By the way, I'm not going to go through spoilers in this book. I'm going to spoil the pages I show you and that small portion of the story, but these are just going to be about 10 pages into the very front, okay? So feel free to watch this if you're going to read the book later. I'm not going to tell you what happens at the end. So I love these panels. This is, again, show don't tell, but they're talking about the past, and they're talking about Krakoa. And if you don't know Krakoa, of course, that is the living island. Here's what's cool. They use a lot of stuff from the previous series. There's a lot of stuff that you'd really want to know in order to have a better understanding, but you can read this book, be new to the X-Men, and still understand the story and get everything out of it that you need to, right, for it to make sense. When I say this is show don't tell, looking at it here, you wouldn't really know this just by looking at it, but these flowers, they're special, and they're planting them at various places in the world, and they're showing you that specifically. And so this is now. And you see 2 agents talking, and this is really, really the intro into the storyline. So these 3 individuals, they're talking about what just happened, and what happened is they said it was unexpected. Charles Xavier decided to deliver a telepathic message to the entire world. He says an offer that we could not refuse, right? And he said, basically, we have these incredible designer drugs and good positive designer drugs, right? Because they're extend human life. They One of them prevents diseases of the mind. And the other one creates like a super antibiotic, right? So it is a gift, but Xavier offered this. He says, in exchange for these medicines, I want each one of your countries, and we'll give you a supply of these to your nation. I want you to recognize our nation, Krakoa, as its own sovereign nation. These folks, they're here to meet Xavier, and so they're walked inside, And they say, "Can I offer you anything to drink?" And the agent, he says, "Oh, I'm fine. When will we be meeting with Xavier?" And then Magneto says, "Charles won't be joining us today. He is otherwise engaged. I admit I'm a poor substitute, but hopefully I'll manage." And their eyes get wide. "Magneto," he says, "please, Ambassador is fine. Follow me. I'll give you the tour." Cool. So already, very cool of an intro right there. So look, Magneto and Xavier are working together right now, right? And they want to build an empire for mutants, which is really cool. So, in case some of what they said was a little bit jaded or you didn't understand it in the word bubbles, this is that design I was talking about, where they go through and they talk about the storyline and they give you kind of a little deeper feel as to what's going on. So this was the Flowers of Krakoa. The mutant island of Krakoa is not just the home of mutants and the seat of their nation-state. It is also the only known producer of the primary economic resource of the mutant nation, the flowers of Krakoa. There are 3 flowers. For humans, it is a human drug, delivery mechanism fabricated in a synthesized pill. It says that consistently. This flower produces a drug that extends the life of human for 5 years. The second one, this flower produces an adaptive universal antibiotic, super drug for humans. This flower produces a drug that cures diseases of the mind in humans. Now, these are the absolute fascinating part of all of this. There are 3 flowers. This flower grows a gateway, a pathway from where one it's planted to its twin gateway on Krakoa. Habitat flower. This flower produces a habitat. A habitat is a self-sustaining environment, a biome that is part of the interconnected consciousness of Krakoa. So fascinating. I love the whole living island thing. I love it. It's so cool. This non-naturally occurring flower produces a habitat that exists outside of the collective consciousness of Krakoa, a place within the island ecosystem that Krakoa doesn't know exists. And they're gonna show you one of those gateways working. Gateway into Krakoa, not into comics. So she is saying that any mutant can use the gateway to Krakoa, but not humans. They have to accompany a mutant when they go. And it's just beautiful when she steps through. You can see, and the coloring is just just great. I mean, this is really awesome, and this is really what I wanted to show you here. It shows her running over to Logan because she wanted to see Wolverine, and it shows Wolverine happy. You know, he's there with Xavier. Jean Grey looks over at Xavier. Telepathically, they have a conversation. "Welcome home, Jean. You're safe here. We all are." So it continues with another one of these little, well, this is a map, clearly, if you're looking at it here. And it shows where everything is here on Krakoa. House of X, House of M, where everything is. Hickman comes out and gives you a really cool fight scene right here between the Fantastic Four and Toad, Sabretooth, and Mystique. So, yeah, this book's worth your time. This book is worth your time, and it's a big, thick one. So, look, I'm going to say this. It's $6, which, I'm not digging that at all. I'm bothered by it, in fact, but hey, it is what it is. I'm excited that the book exists, that it's going to still be put out. It's a good move forward for the X-Men, for Marvel to actually be caring about their X-Men series, right? So there were a lot of things behind this that bothered me so much. The biggest thing is that they knew that Hickman was going to be taking over their line for 2 years now, right? And so all of this crap that they've been pumping out, X-Men Blue, X-Men Red, Age of X-Men, this past Uncanny X-Men, all of it, they knew that it didn't mean a damn thing and that they were just going to do this. And I'm telling you, that does not promote trust within readers and fans at all. It bothers me. It really bothered the people who were consistently buying the Uncanny X-Men, every single issue, hanging on it, and they abuse you so much, keep you coming back, and they're like, oh, none of this matters. We're just going to reboot it again. As good of a book as this is, that mentality bothers me so much. How many variants were there to this as well? You know what I mean? I mean, variants are, if you don't know, I mean, variants are predatory practice in comic books, I mean, in my opinion, why would you need 80 to 100 variants of one issue? Why would you need that, That is to prey on people who are collectors. Honestly, I'm excited for this run. But nothing can really fix the problems at Marvel. They have so many deep-seated issues. That's funny. Issues like issues. It really isn't funny. It's not funny, the deep-seated issues that Marvel really does have. They have creators coming out telling people that they hope they don't buy their product anymore because of their political alignment, literally cussing them out, telling people who review comic books. This is creators like writers, Tamara Bonvillain telling a reviewer, a comic book reviewer, just a critic, that they hope that he dies by an IED. So these are the kinds of problems that you have in the major industry. People, they're putting politics before sales and saying, look, if you didn't vote for the right person, I hate you, you're a Nazi, you're all kinds of stuff. It's absolutely crazy. It's just insane, but that's what you get from Marvel. So I just had to throw that in there. So hopefully someone, if you haven't heard about all this crazy stuff that's going on, all this defamation within comic books, hopefully you'll be like, oh, wow, is that really going on? I'll leave a link down below that kind of just talks a little bit deeper about what that's all about. But look, hey, this is great. I'm going to come back for more. I hope you come back and see me on my next videos. Tell me what you think about House of X #1. I'd love to hear what you think. Do you think this run's going to be good? Have you given up on all of this altogether to where you're like, F Marvel? So many people have. I do not blame you whatsoever, because I understand they are using consumers and they don't really care about consumer input, and that's just the bottom line. So I'm Chase, you're the gateway into comics. I'll see you on the next video.